extremely happy to announce that we are now in our fourth race of this epic 3-week showdown that we have. We're going to be doing some really fun races today, and today's race actually is going to be with Porsche Cayman GT4 at the iconic Interlagos, as I like to call it, or the Brazilian circuit, as we all know. Qualifying will commence in a matter of minutes from now, so welcome, and looking forward to giving you all a fun, entertaining race. Quickly go for my settings to make sure that there are no confusions unlike last time. Yeah, looking good. Oh, hey there, how are you doing? Nice to see you on the stream. You're gonna be witnessing the fastest guys from India. If I have to show you the member list, you can see that all the boys are A+. There's 6 of them. Then we've got Flash, Eng, Ascas, SRC, MJK, and Hershey's. All A-rated and A+ drivers. I think dailies have just been bothering them. But hey, Deepita, nice to see you. Huge shout out to Deepita. Deepita is basically one of the upcoming, or rather, let me put it this way, she's actually the first woman from India who we've come across who plays Gran Turismo, and the hope is that one day she will represent India across the world as one of the fastest racers that there is. So yeah, we're all looking forward to that. So just another minute before we get started with quali. Simple format. We're going to be doing a sprint first. So you're going to have a 5-minute quali that's going to define the grid position for the sprint, which will then go on to define the overall feature race. But yeah, sooner or later, Deepita, sooner or later, I'm pretty certain you will be a part of our lobbies as well. So this is a tournament that we're having right now. It's a league, in fact, that we're doing. So this is usually the time for leagues. Otherwise, the daily races that take place, they're the ones that usually are much later. But ideally, yes, for your own growth, this is what we're doing. And just as I say that, qualifying is about to commence. So we're gonna keep our replays active. So hopefully qualifying is go. Let's quickly jump onto the grid. So what are we looking at? Are any other boys out? Yep, seems like it. Beautiful monsters, as I'd like to call them, at this super fast track. So yeah, and yes, notes to be taken for those who are watching. Notes for those who will be learning. We're looking at, I believe, another 1-lap shootout in this case. So we're just gonna make sure we have our basic info in place. So it's been an interesting battle though, where we've got Bridget, who's been dominating in his own way. We've got Pleb, who's always been a legend when it comes to the Indian GT7 Gran Turismo setup. Constant dominating, currently the fastest as per our records. Then there is Abdus, who's just exiting the pits. An upcoming talent, someone destined to do great things in this particular sport, in this particular format. Trust me, you're going to see some really crazy stuff. We've got Makov, who's been giving everyone a run for their money. Kadeka, another interesting, really fast guy. A really fun chapter in itself. So you're going to see a lot of talent. So let's quickly now go to the grid, as I believe Ench and Vishal will be the first ones to start their flying laps. So potentially I think a good target would be anywhere between the 121s, I believe. So let's see as we come on to the S's. I'm not sure if these are the Senna S's. Yes, I believe they are the Senna S's. This track is absolutely legendary. So we're just going to stick with Inch and then we'll go to Vishal just to have a look at sector time. So sector time 25.2 and 25.3. So what are we looking at? Widget. Is he going to be able to? Yes, 25.1. So Widget just about having a margin up front. What about Flash? Another really fast guy. Oh, pretty slow. So he's. What about Pleb? Let's stick with Pleb here. Oh, so Pleb pretty tight. And let's just jump back to Enchir again to see what is this sector 2 going to be like. Just about having a bit of a moment. So just compromising his entry there. Now what? I believe Ench looks good, but I do think he's lost a little bit of ground to Vishal, so it seems like it'll be close. So 113.8. What are we looking at with Widget? Wow, so he's definitely got a big jump. Now let's just quickly jump onto Ench here. Ench has lost a lot of ground, so I think he's backed out. So it seems like he's going to convert this into a cooling lap, and seems like Vishal's going to pull off the same. And what are we looking at with Widget? Yeah, I think all the guys are just sort of doing a double cool. So just sort of managing it. I think they want to make sure that they burned enough fuel, and or maybe not. So slightly confusing there, but what we are looking at is Widget, who's sitting in at P1, and where's Askas? He's jumped in at P5, Flash P6, sort of jumps up to P4. Where's Mr. Abdus? He's the one who can upset the grid. Are we going to look at Abdus getting P1? It seems like it. Provisional P1? Yes, it is, just by 400. So as I mentioned earlier, the battle between him and Widget is something, and Pleb right there with them, with just another 10 behind and about 2 tenths behind the leader. So it seems like let's jump on to MJK here. Now will MJK be able to produce some magic? Seems like it, but I'm not so sure. P7 for MJK. What about Kudeka? Kudeka will slot into P4, and we had Mako, who's taking pole out here just like that. That is fabulous there. So Mako producing a brilliant lap. Now Hershey's, he's been in the top 3 all throughout. Can Hershey's do something? He's a little off, so Hershey's is P8, not good by his standards there. So it seems like MJK has figured something, but no, he's just jumped back into the pit. So maybe just trying a quick jump start. Sorry, I'm so sorry, not a jump start, but what I do mean is MJK just maybe getting in a practice start there. So I think this is what our grid's gonna look like for a quick 10-minute sprint there. So we've got Makov in P1, Abdus who's just about 600s behind in P2, then another 400s behind is Widget in P3. So top 3 are just separated by a tenth. Top 4 are separated by just slightly under 2 tenths. Top 5 are split by about a quarter of a second. So this is tight. You can see the gaps are pretty tight. Look at that, P6, P7 all within half a second, and Hershey's is about 6 tenths. So and Vishal is within that 1 second mark along with MJK, Askas, and Flash. Unfortunately, he's not really had a good lap. So I'm pretty certain Flash will give us a lot of overtakes. We know Flash is not someone who's going to make life easy for the guys ahead. Man loves overtaking, and he is an aggressive driver. So yes, you're going to see some interesting action, but interesting point here is that Makov is the only one who's entered or broken the 139s for that matter. Rest everyone is after 139. So yes, I think we're just waiting for the clock to run out. Once the timers run out, then we quickly start sprint. But yes, this will be interesting. So for all of y'all, any top 3 predictions for the sprint? I think if you ask me, I believe your top three is going to be, I'd say maybe, let's say, I think it would be pretty much these guys. I believe maybe Abdus might give Makov a run for his money, but we saw Makov do the sensational 10 place overtake, which was just fabulous in the first race altogether. So, yeah, this is going to be something. And result wise, just to confirm, this is what our top 8 looks like, and yeah, our top 12 pretty much filling in. So just waiting for the race to get started, and while we do that, 10-minute sprint, we're looking at roughly about 6 odd laps, if I'm not wrong. I think, yeah, it'll be 6 laps of 5 to 6 laps of just out and out pace. So you can expect quali level laps kicking in. Okay, so we are ready to go with the sprint race. Quickly, okay, there seems to be, okay, yeah, so this is reverse grid, absolutely. How can I forget that? Apologies for that. And we got a false start procedure. We are with Flash, and we're going to keep an eye, and it seems like a good start there for Flash. Askas not having such a good start. MJK and P3 immediately jumping there. You can see out here, and Vishal's also under a lot of pressure from Hershey's, but look at that, you can see all the Ajibaji actually taking the edge, immediately making the attack, but not making through. Askas holding on to MJK. MJK just about going by. Oh, we've had action all around. Oh my god, Vishal will not be happy. So let's just jump onto Abdus here, as these guys will be making sure that they quickly gain ground, and Pleb just about nudging Makov there. So the guys who will be taking top 3 in top 4, sorry, in the feature race, just about having their moment. Ench already picking up a penalty. Makov in P8, we got Widget in P7, who's immediately attacking Kadeka out here. And what's happening up front? Flash has somehow held on to Askas, MJK is held on to Hershey's, Vishal being the bigger loser out here, and Kadeka has just got a train with him. So all sorts of action taking place out here. We're just going to keep our replay markers active just to make sure that we're catching all the action. And MJK has lost a little bit of ground, but fights back. So Hershey's putting the pressure on MJK immediately. You do not want to lose ground to the guys ahead, and Flash and Askas have they've bolted ahead. So we've got Widget here in P6. Ench will be serving his penalty, so he's gonna immediately lose that ground to make that jump over Makov. And now how many places will Ench lose? And we've got some action brewing up over here as well. So Saurav also going at the back of the grid, and now here we've got Ench and Pleb, and Pleb also making a move down the inside. Will he make a double attack out here? It seems like it. Yes, he does, and Makov also gets compromised in the mix, and Pleb pulling off a sensational overtake on both of them on T1, and Makov again losing out in 2 positions. Ench also ensuring that he doesn't lose too much ground. So we've got Abdus, and we've got action here as Hershey's is now immediately under attack from Kadeka, but MJK just sort of creating a bit of a train, while you've got Askas putting that pressure. Will he go down the outside? Thinks about it, but chooses the better. Now will he make the over and under? I don't think so. Flash doing enough to defend, as MJK is also defending from Hershey's out here. So all sorts of action being taking place. The guys are pretty closely botched up, and as long as Askas and Flash are battling, it is a good opportunity for MJK and the guys trailing him to catch the pack up. You can see that MJK is slowly gaining that ground. And yes, Deepita, thank you so much. All the very best. Looking forward to seeing you also take part in these races soon. So as we get back into action, Kadeka now has the toe on Hershey's, and he will be wanting to attack. And there you go, he's going down the outside. Are we going to see a move? He might just think of keeping that pressure on Hershey's and maybe take the inside line. Now, does he do that? Hershey's just about putting off that aggressive defense, and just like that, also loses that position, puts that sort of pressure, and Kadeka just losing that ground to Hershey's, and now immediately to Vijit as well. Now, will he go down the inside? Thinks about it, but Vijit trying to outbreak him, still managing that. So, and we've got action here. So Pleb has in that manner also made his move on Abdus. Now will Pleb also dive down the inside? You can see these guys, one mistake and there you go, you can see immediately you lose out on so much ground. So Kadeka doing his bit, he is attacking and defending and attacking and defending. Oh my god, this is intense. You do not want to see these guys trailing you. So this is some really aggressive driving, and let's just stay here with Pleb as Kadeka is doing everything, but while Kadeka is doing Vijit's being able to make that move ahead, and let's just stick here around with Pleb as Abdus does seem like he has that additional advantage on Kadeka here, and he does make the move on Kadeka. So Abdus also gaining ground, and Pleb will also want to attack Kadeka real soon. So Kadeka under a lot of pressure. We're just going to stick around with these guys for a bit. Will Pleb make a move down the inside? Will he pull off a Verstappen move? No, but Kadeka does. Kadeka attacks Abdus yet again, and Abdus fighting back. And in all of this, Pleb again coming into the mix, just like that in those battles, Kadeka losing out. And these two guys, Pleb and Abdus, showing why they are currently ranking number 1 and number 2 in India. Now will Pleb be able to outbreak Abdus? Yes, he does. Look at that. What a sensational move there by Pleb there, and Kadeka is just losing so much ground just like that. He was at P6 at one point. He is now at P10. So you can see out here Pleb doing everything correctly, patiently waiting as Abdus made the move. And he's just going to be here, and you will see that we saw that Kadeka is going for the attack, which would compromise his both their entries and exits towards this fast section. The S's are all about momentum. Pleb sensing the opportunity and immediately making the move. And you can see being side by side. You will see out here how he's going to outbreak Abdus. Look at that margin right there, and Kadeka just like that losing the position to Ench as well. So fabulous driving by these guys, as we are now here with Vijit, who's trailing Hershey's, and look at that, some JK has just come out of him having a bit of a slide. Now he's not losing too much ground here. You can see train, but he was gaining a lot of ground to the guys up front, and these two guys are battling it out aggressively. So let's see what happens. Now will Askas think about making a move? Flash doing everything by the textbook to ensure that he's defending in the correct manner, and Askas being that patient spectator in this. But look at this, now we've got action brewing up as Vijit has made that additional position on Hershey's, and Hershey's is now immediately under attack from Pleb, and Abdus just about pushes Pleb. Then now will Abdus be the gentleman and give that position back to Pleb? It seems like he wants to do that, but and rightfully so he does that. So action all around, and now it's just insane with the amount of action that's taking place all around. It's so tricky to keep a track of what's happening. So we're just gonna stick around with these guys, because Hershey's does seem to have the run and just might get that little bit of a bump maybe from Pleb, because Pleb will want to be as close to Hershey as he can to avoid any form of a lunge from as Flash yet again defending with all his might. Now, will Askas think about making the move? No, he doesn't. And let's jump on to Widget. Hershey's thinking about going down the inside. Now, Pleb, as we saw some time back, knowing when something like this happens, he is usually the first one to jump onto it. Hershey's sensing the momentum shift, and you can see that Pleb repeats that action right there. And just like that, he makes a move on Widget. Now, let's just be here. Now, will Pleb think about diving down the inside? Yes, he does. Simply brilliant. Oh, this is aggressive driving there by Pleb. And just like that, Pleb now jumps up to P4. Now, will Hershey's make a move down the inside? It's still not done. Hershey's is well within the inside. But Pleb, as we all know, he is one fearless chap. He will not want to lose on the momentum. Widget again losing out. You do not want to be aggressively battling out here, otherwise you will lose a lot of positions. But as you can see out here, that just like that, Pleb jumped up to P4, and while these guys are battling it out, Abdus has picked up unfortunately a 1 minute penalty. Let's just go back to this epic we're here with Pleb. You can see Pleb in P6, and within the span of 3 corners you will see Pleb immediately get both of these guys, knowing that these guys will attack, knowing that Hershey's is sensing an opportunity. This is textbook patience. This is textbook masterclass of how you are supposed to race in Gran Turismo. You can see taking that wider entry, getting a little compromise but not losing out on momentum. Widget losing that little bit of ground, not really getting the apex. Hershey's making the most of it, and unfortunately, I'm so sorry. Oh, just like that, the race got over. And apologies for that, but I wanted to show you all the masterclass of Pleb, and I didn't realize that the racing was so exciting. But nevertheless, Flash takes sprint win. Askas gets P2, MJK in P3, and Pleb with a stellar gain there, pretty much almost on the back of the grid, moves up to P4. Likewise for Hershey's in P5 and Widget in P6 as well. Engine P7, Kadeka in P8, Abdus in P9, Makov in P10, Saur in P11. Vishal unfortunately couldn't really put in a fight, was in P12. So we're now gonna just wait for some new settings. We're gonna be looking at a 40-minute race, and here's something interesting that was to be highlighted. As you can see out here, I'm just gonna keep it. You're looking at heavy damage. So for those of y'all who don't know what happens, heavy damage simply means that if there is any form of contact and your car picks up damage, you have to pit in order to fix the damage. This is exactly how it's done in actual racing. So the guys cannot be bum drafting, the guys cannot be jumping onto making aggressive moves. The guys have to be really, really careful. You have to be vigilant and aware. Your spatial awareness in this matter has to be spot on. A bump from the back, a tap, anything, and you are picking up damage. So this is gonna be interesting for sure. And we just wait for the guys to enter. So I'll just quickly take a quick break before the race is started and the grid is set. So we'll just wait for 2 minutes and we'll resume. we are back and we're about to get started with the 40-minute feature race. We're here just having a beautiful sighting lap with the mighty fast Hershey's, and showing how it's done. It's all about being smooth and something like that obviously wouldn't help. So let's just stay here, and just like that the grid's been set. Makov resumes P1, Abdus in P2, Vijit in P3, Pleb in P4, Kadeka P5, Ench in P6, Saurabh P7, Hoshi's P8, Vishal P9, MJK P10, Askas in P11, and Flash in P12. So we're gonna have rolling start for this one. Now rolling start makes things interesting because the grid sort of remains the way it is, and nothing really changes. So it's all about how you sort of manage your pace and quickly gain ground, take advantage of the mistakes that are being made by the guys ahead. So let's just be here with Makov at this point, and a clean start for everyone. Now, are we going to look at any of the guys making a lunge? Let's just say, so Makov keeps it clean, Abdus thinks about it, but no, I do not think the guys will be up close. So, but this is where things will start getting interesting now, because slipstream will come into effect, and as we just saw that with heavy damage, you do not want to be aggressive, you do not want to be over adventurous. You want to make sure that you are patiently playing this out. So as we see all the guys keeping it clean, no one really sort of making a move, and MJK giving a bit of a tap there to Vishal, but let's hope that there's no damage here. As Flash in P12 now, Abdus coming under attack there from Pleb, and Pleb immediately thinking about making the move. Abdus will have to be careful out here. You cannot be over aggressive, or else you will compromise both your aces and every nudge. So we're just gonna look at all info to see if there's any damage out here. It seems like there's none. So everyone's starting on racing hards now. Will Abdus put in a fight back? No, but it seems like Abdus has a bit of a different approach out here as compared to the others, because he is already half a second behind, and Kadeka thinking about a move, but thinks better of it. But Pleb seems to be on a different approach as well, because Pleb is now immediately putting that pressure on Vijit, and he wants to stay up front. Now what's happening at the back, as we see MJK is under attack from Vishal. Now will Vishal make a move? Interestingly, MJK is on a different compound as compared to Vishal. So now will Vishal make a lunge down the inside, thinks about it, and that was close, but he gives a bit of a tap. I think that was a bit of a late lunge, and MJK will not be happy, and this might be reported, because just like that now Hershey's, who unfortunately lost, it seems like a few positions, will put in that pressure on MJK. So MJK here is going to lose that additional bit of ground to, or he doesn't. So it will be here as we've got our top three intact, and what's happening here? So let's just be here with Abdus, and it seems like Abdus has lost a little bit of ground. So we did notice that Kadeka was attacking Abdus, but now has Abdus made a mistake somewhere, or is it just a clean pass by Kadeka? It seems like it is, because you can see the difference in terms of the momentum that Abdus is carrying versus the momentum that Kadeka is carrying. So it seems like a straightforward move down the inside. So Abdus definitely having a different approach. Just having a bit of a moment there, so I think that is what compromises his position, maybe gives him to lose on P4. Yeah, so just a bit of a tap, and that is how he loses on to P4. And subsequently P5 as well. And just like that, he's gained P4 back. So interesting as Pleb making the move on Visit, and he moves up to P2. So it seems like the guys have different sorts of strategies, as NJK has moved up as well, and Ench has picked up a penalty again. So Kideka is going on the wrong direction in terms of gaining places, and NJK, who had that bit of a moment earlier with Vishal, has found his footing. So you can see MJK has made that move and will surely get that position. And look at that! Oh, he's making an aggressive move there, and immediately making that pass on. This is lap 3, and there was a bit of a moment that was reported. This was that nudge that had taken place between Vishal and Ench. Now going to serve his penalty. So big ups to MJK there. He's quickly gained ground, and Abdus with his strategy still sort of making a move now. Vijit slowly gaining on Pleb, holding Pleb rather, and Pleb is starting to reel in Makov. So interesting approach out here by all the guys as we see them. I don't really see any major difference, so quite perplexed to see what the approach out here really is, as these guys over here seem to have a bit of a train that they created, but so far so good. We're on our 4th lap yet, though we're just 6 minutes into racing action. Not really seeing anyone report any damage, so far everyone's kept it clean. So let's just quickly go to the grid. We've got Makov here in P1. Vijit has gained P2 back on Pleb. So let's just see what happened. Okay, so he just made a move on the Senna S's, and that's how he gained P2 back on Pleb. We got Abdus in P4, who is immediately coming under attack from NJK, but obviously we know the reason why NJK has been gaining that much ground as well. Kideka is stabilizing on the P6, and look at that, Hoshis, Ench, Vishal, Flash, Askas, Saurav, they're all within a second of each other. Yeah, Dan, the interesting part is that Lobby A, as we know it, only has A and A plus drivers, and I think the fact that you're being able to compete with them is in itself really funny. And just like that, we see Pleb making the move again and going a little deeper, and immediately Vijit making that switchback, and JK making an aggressive move on Abdus as well. So let's just see as JK slowly gaining that ground on Abdus, and in the process just jump back because this would be a longer replay as we look at it. Now, interesting fact over here that we're seeing is that these guys are slowly gaining ground on our leaders. So they're sort of crawling their way back. And as I wanted to take you all to the grid, we got Mako on P1, Vijit in P2, holding on to Pleb, who is in P3. We got NJK, who is gaining in P4, Abdus in P5, Kadekaya in P6. We got Hoshi in P7, closely followed by Ench in P8, Vishal in P9, Flash in P10. We've got Askas in P11 and Saurav in P12, and no one, to our surprise and delight, has any heavy damage. So strangely, I don't know why it's showing that refuel indicator, but you don't really need the refuel indicator. Fastest lap currently with NJK, so that's that. Now the grid has sort of spread a little, and Flash has made a move on Askas. Vishal is really having a tough day today, and Flash reclaiming the position back from Askas. Now Vishal will want to barge his way through, but thinking the better of it and not being able to make that move. So Flash reclaiming P9 now. Will Vishal think of making a move on the inside, breaking as late as he can and putting all the pressure on Askas, and just like that Vishal makes that move. He will want to move up ahead faster in order to mitigate the damage that he's picked up in the form of that penalty. And while we saw that action, we've got Pleb, who's on the outside, trying to make that move. Now this would be a sensational move, and he does make that move. What a brilliant move there, and Vijit immediately fighting back. So these guys showing how top class racing is really done. And in that, MJK pulling off an Alonso-esque move gains the register position. Now will MJK think about diving down the inside? He does. Now this will compromise Vijit as well. So MJK being the winner in this, the bigger gainer as compared to and Vijit immediately at the drop of a hat losing 2 positions. So in all of this is helping Makov big time. Now will Pleb decide to fight back? I'm not sure if Pleb knows the stretch out here, the difference in choices, and just like that, Pleb now having to defend from Vijit, and he's got that momentum. So let's just have a look at that bit, because that was simply epic. While Pleb from here, he initiated the attack, figured it's best to go down the outside, and you can see out here that from the outside he makes his move, and Vijit immediately breaking late, making it aggressive but compromising both his entry and exit, and immediately coming under pressure from MJK there. And you can see like MJK making sure that this is his only opportunity, so giving no room. And in that you can see momentum loss for Vijit, and in that process Pleb knows that he has to be patient and stay within the toe of MJK, and in that patience you can see gaining a little bit of ground to Vijit and seeing that the traction difference. And here Vijit tries to make a move down the inside. Pleb sensibly keeping the car onto the middle, knowing that he's got the inside portion and momentum for the next part of the S's, and just like that he holds on to his position. So excellent driving there. And now Abdus immediately now onto the attack. So Abdus has been calm, has been patient, and will he think about making a move out here? I certainly hope not. Vijit doing his bit in defending. Seems like the grid has sort of spread out a little, and I think now it will come down to the set of pits. Now Makov has had a steady run so far, and he's got a nice 1.8 second lead over MJK. So MJK will soon start feeling a little bit of pressure because of his tires as compared to the others. So definitely the orthodox approach being picked up here by MJK. So let's see how that pans out. Pretty interesting, because he has managed to gain a significant amount of ground as compared to where he started, so that definitely helps him. And we did notice Vijit just having a bit of a moment, so this will bring in Abdus, and yes, I think he's gone off track. So a little bit a lapse in concentration, and that has led to Abdus gaining. Now with that 1 second penalty, Vijit might come under pressure from Kudeka. So if Kudeka sensed that Vijit picked up that penalty, which he should serve in the next lap, then do expect Kudeka to attack. So for all the fight that MJK had. Now, what's happened out here is that I think MJK's tires are like now giving away, and you can see the difference in approach. Pleb being able to attack the corner much more than MJK, and MJK slowly struggling for that traction. Now, in this soon we might just see MJK become a little more vulnerable to Pleb, and we know Pleb is someone who knows, who understands, how tire management works, how fuel management works, how tire temps also work in as a factor. It's not just straightforward driving. GT7 Gran Turismo has been labeled as Simcade, but it is not just entirely Simcade. It's not arcadey like an asphalt, but yes, there are a lot of physics and race car dynamics that are involved. So you can see that GT will bring in that into effect out here. So let's just stick around in cockpit view to see what it's like from his angle. Now here, are we gonna see MJK get onto any form of pressure from Pleb thinking about it, but he's not close enough, or he just might make that lunge. Now will Pleb make that lunge? He thinks about it, just about gives him a tap, and that is no good. That is no good. I'm not sure if the move was active or no, or was it just a case of tires. So let's just have a look at it from a different POV. So you can see that MJK is under a lot of pressure from Pleb, and Pleb knows that he has to do everything that he can to make sure that he makes that move soon. So as we approach the final sector and the final set of corners, we will see that the momentum definitely is there with Pleb. You can see that MJK is just struggling with that traction now. You can clearly see the difference, and you can see the corner speeds also. Pleb having a much better exit as compared to MJK. And look at that gain. Instantly he's gaining. Now, has Pleb made that contact here with MJK as we are on bumper cam? Makes a move, thinks of a late move. MJK knowing he's there. Yes, so it seems like this one is on Pleb, and Pleb still holding on to P2 there and slowly gaining now on Abdus. He might have to make a run should the stewards decide to penalize him. And we've got MJK who's entered the pits. So now does he trigger the first set of pit stops? I am not entirely sure, as the guys have definitely everyone's on the hards as compared to MJK. So let's see how this pans out. We know MJK can be a master of deception when it comes to strategies. So I will not be surprised if he pulls off something out of his hat. And as I mentioned earlier, because of the 1 second penalty, which it loses on to P4 to Kadeka. You can see Hershey and now putting that pressure on Vijit, trying to do that, but Vijit, it actually is the other way where Vijit is putting pressure on Kadeka now. So we've got action brewing up over here. Let's just stay with these guys. I think I'm just gonna quickly jump on to ensure I do not see any action between these guys and Flash and Askas are going down. So let's just jump back onto Kadeka here and see his defensive masterclass, which we did see in the sprint, as well as Kadeka just about goes a little wide, and now this is going to invite Vijit to attack, and you can see Hershey's is not that close, but Bridget definitely is well within the attack range, and we might just see the move. And yes, it is. He's lining him up, and Bridget goes down the inside. So Kadeka holding on to P4 just for those couple of laps, and Bridget immediately gaining ground again and moving back up to P4. Bridget's pace is just simply phenomenal, and he's not someone who just sort of let you pass, and he'll make it easy for you. So now Kadeka trying to make that move, but not being able to. So let's just quickly have a look at that as a straightforward pass there by Bridget. Easy pass, straightforward, keeping it clean, clipping the apex correctly, getting the exit, not losing momentum on the S's. Just a bit of a slight oversteering moment, but just like that, holding on to that. So excellent driving there by Bridget to reclaim P4, and Abdus, as we saw, who was sort of going back, was very calmly and keeping his composure, working a bit of what seems like a smarter approach, is keeping the top two within his reach, and likewise Pleb, who was at one point almost 1.8 seconds behind, is now within a second. So Pleb will want to start catching Makov. MJK is at the back of the pack, and let's see how this pans out. He is 40 seconds behind the guys. Average pit stops seem like about 35 odd seconds, so let's see where does this put MJK. Sort of putting in a personal best at 141.8. Vishal in a rather isolated P10, not the best range by his standards. We got Flash and Askas who are battling for the top two spots in the sprint, currently at P9 and P8 respectively. We got Hershey's in P7, and Kadeka has been passed by Ench here. So what's happened here? Let's have a look, because Ench was well behind, and it seems like Hershey's having a bit of a moment, and in that picking up a penalty as well as losing the position to Ench. Now has Ench also pulled off a strong attack? It seems like it. You can see Ench breaking just a slight bit later and getting a much better exit, knowing that he's got the momentum, and immediately lines up Kadeka. So Kadeka also making sure that he is in Bridget's toe, but we know Ench can be a bully on track, and you can see Ench is very clear, the intent is visible. Now how does Ench decide to make this move? Thinks about it, but keeps it clean, and I think Kadeka just getting a little compromise in his exit there with Bridget just holding him back. So I think this is where Ench probably decides to take advantage. Yes, you can see just about keeping it clean and making the move on Kadeka. So brilliant move there by Ench to move up to P5, and just like that he also moved up to P4. So an unfortunate one. Ench moves up to P4. So brilliant driving there. Abdus picking up another penalty. Not sure what exactly happened, but we've got action brewing up by the guys up front. Now are we seeing a potential no stopper, because MJK doesn't seem like he is gaining ground as much as he would have liked to or rather hoped for. So seems like the guys might do a no stopper. I think everyone's got enough fuel, and you just want to be smart about it. And Abdus unfortunately probably trying to pick up momentum and maybe just in the process losing out. Now here we got Ench coming immediately under attack from Vijit, and Ench doing everything he can, but Vijit just showing that he is not gonna bail and go down without a fight. He's not gonna make it easy. Just because you passed him doesn't mean that it's over. He is gonna fight back, and he will reclaim that position, and he will do anything and everything that it takes to make sure that he gains that position. So just like that, he reclaims P4, and he knows this is extremely crucial for the championship as well, because he is battling it with the guys who are in front of him, and the points difference is pretty close between these guys, and Vijit's got a good lead, but he is going to lose out on crucial points onto these guys. And as we are here with Pleb, we can see that Pleb is now well within Makov's reach. These two legends of SNI have had countless battles together, have constantly exchanged and traded P1s and P2s among themselves across so many leagues, and this is just yet another classic battle by these extremely fast drivers. So let's see, are we gonna see Pleb line up a move? He is close. 3/10 is a little bigger of a gap as Pleb would have liked, but it's good enough to upset the momentum of Makov. You can see Makov is trying to break that toe, but will Pleb make a lunge? He is close, but he's not close enough. Keeps it clean. But as I mentioned, this is what Pleb can do. He can put you under so much pressure and ensure that you will compromise or make some mistake or the other. And just like that, look how close Pleb really is now. And this is all that Pleb wants. This is all that he wants. Now will Pleb think of lining it up? Thinks about it, just gives a bit of a tap, and Makov trail breaking his way, correcting and holding on to Pleb. But look at that, Pleb all over his rear there, as this is something that you do not want to see. This is not a pleasant sight at all. But Pleb doing just about enough. Pleb thinking about making a move, but look like the door was open. But Makov, we know he is the master of defense. Makov is not someone who's just gonna take all the pressure. Makov can soak as much pressure as you put on him, and Makov will fight. Makov will be composed. So let's not put the commentator's curse on either of them, and let's hope for a really solid battle, as Makov doing just about enough and maintaining that gap. But this time Pleb is so much more closer to Makov. He's just about 10, so this could potentially be the move, and Makov doing the right thing, holding on to the inside line, defending in every way possible. Now will Pleb force Makov into another mistake? I am not so sure, but Pleb choosing the better of it and not wanting to do anything chaotic. We also know that these guys have to manage their fuel levels, and they have to make sure that their tires are also intact. And now it seems like Pleb does decide to make the move, but again thinking the better of it. But while we do that, we did notice that these two were having a battle of their own. So let's see what happened. I think was there a bit of a mistake made by Vijit here? It seems like it, because for a brief moment I did see that Kadeka had passed Vijit. That's what it showed on our timing markers. And Hench, who had moved up to P4 at one point, is again down at P7 in the process of Kadeka. Yes, Kadeka makes that lunge on Vijit, but Vijit immediately with yet another switchback, and just like that P4. So let's just jump back onto these guys. As I mentioned earlier, Makov doing the right thing out here, and what had come down to a 10th in the previous lap is now half a second. So this is a cushion that Makov would be okay with. But look at this, we've got a two-way action building up over here between Vijit Kadeka and long time buddies Hoshi's and Edge. So Kadeka doing his bit, but these guys know that they have to be careful. Now what's happened over here? It seems like Pleb thought of making a lunge, and I think they've had a bit of a moment because they are losing time here to Abdus, but I think Pleb probably made a lunge, and I'm not sure if he's caught it. I don't think we have. So Pleb here, so Pleb just about clipping Makov there, so he's having a bit of a hairy moment, and just like that, creating that impact. But thankfully, none of the guys picked up any damage from the looks of it. So damage seems clean. Abdus on a lonely P3. But these guys also, kudos to them. They've kept it clean. They kept it professional. Now we are coming towards the latter stages. And this is where things can get sketchy. This is where guys can be a little more aggressive. Pressure can start mounting. So as we do see, Ench unfortunately picks up yet another penalty. We've got Pleb again putting the pressure, so maybe just a case of Pleb cooling his tires and just sort of gathering himself. And we've got Kadeka here, who's also gained, and Hershey's making the most of it. So let's just stick with Hershey's, and Vijit fighting back yet again. Now will Vijit be able to gain another position? I am not so sure, but he is really putting on a show for all of us out here, and Hershey's as well, giving it everything he can to stay within these guys. See out here how she's doing everything he can to put that fighter right on his bumper. Hershey is so close. Now will Hershey think of making the move on the inside? He is not so close and just breaking that little bit earlier, but again you can see in that he's got such a good line, and it's amazing the line that he picks, but somehow Vijit just not letting him through, and it seems like Pleb has gained that ground back on Makov, so we might just start seeing Pleb start attacking Makov again for the lead. So let's just stay here with these guys as well for a bit. There's doesn't seem like there's anything happening as such. Likewise, nothing at the back. So yet again, 3 tenths as we saw earlier, 3 to 4 tenths is sufficient enough, and they do have worn out tires, no doubt with lesser fuel, but similar set of tires, so pretty much neutral conditions, and this will purely come down to driver skill at this point. Will Pleb think of making a move? Wasn't close enough, but it does seem like he is gaining that bit of ground over here, but again Makov is so good at neutralizing any attack, as we can see out here, immediately moving down to the inside line to ensure that the toe is broken. And Vijit also has created a bit of a gap on Hoshi, so we're just going to be here with Pleb for a little while to see if he's being able to catch Makov or no. Let's have a look at some comparisons in terms of entries and exits. Pretty much the same. Pleb just about gaining that slight bit, but again you can see Pleb gaining significant amount of, I think he's attacking this time. I think he's realized that somewhere Makov is just that little slow, and in that, so Pleb just losing that patience, and he's really giving it everything that he can. As MJK, we just quickly jump onto him, still in P12, so seems like the one stopper hasn't really worked out in his favor. Again now Pleb is gaining because I think Makov didn't really have the best exit, which could be a potential attack brewing in. Pleb not really being exactly in the toe out here, but he is gaining, and Makov realizing that there is opportunity here for Pleb. Now this could be a move. Are we gonna see Pleb keep it in the middle, breaking late? He's probably gonna get the inside line towards the assist, and he does. But Makov will have better momentum, and Makov being pushed wide there by Pleb, and Makov couldn't do anything. Aggressive there by Pleb, but Pleb knew he had to get the job done because clearly he was being held up. So let's just quickly have a look at that replay and see. As you can see, Makov not having the best exit, because of which Pleb knew that this was probably his best chance, and he had to make sure that he made the most of it. So immediately going for the attack, going for the kill, and gave him enough space. Was on the racing line, but just having that understeering moment, couldn't keep it inside anymore. So Makov also couldn't really do anything. We're gonna leave this to the stewards for them to decide whether that was a fair move or not. But just like that, Pleb does move onto the lead, and we have Kadeta and Vijit battling it out. So let's see what's happened with these guys out here, as Kadeta ABC is already on to P4. So every time I keep switching, these guys end up switching positions as well. So these guys know how to have fun with the race as well, keeping it constantly entertaining. And let's see what Vijit can do. We're looking at about 3-4 laps more, and can Vijit put in a fight back? It does seem like these guys will now want to be that extra bit careful with the fuel, and Plebs simply bolted away. So Makov was doing everything he can, and clearly that last lap Pleb doing a 140.8. So sorry, I'm so sorry, that was his fast lap. Pleb doing a 142.2 versus Makov who ended up doing a 144. So he lost a lot of ground. But one thing I'd like to highlight, look at that consistency by Abdul from lap 16 to lap 31, within 3-4 tenths of the one, between 141.458 and 141.91. Simply amazing. Now yet again Hershey's has picked up a penalty, so not sure if it's wise on Hershey's part to attack Vijit, but Vijit will also want to make sure that he is not attacked by Hershey's out here. Can Vijit put on a fight back? As we're looking at, I think, maybe just 2 more laps of racing. Indeed, View Miss You race would have been great for you to be a part of it as well, but indeed, excellent consistency there by Abdus. You can see that, likewise with Pleb as well. I did observe that the moment he made the pass, you can see the range that he's putting in. And in fact, he's found so much more pace as compared to Makov. So once unleashed, you can see that immediately he's 4 tenths up ahead. And Abdus pretty much on that previous lap just a tenth slower. So lesser fuels now making that difference. Even Kadeka for that matter, you can see that consistency really helping him. Likewise with Vijit. So it's just that they've had their share of moments because of which they've not been able to sort of keep it clean. But had they been extremely consistent, then you can expect many more positional changes coming in for sure. So let's just quickly go through the grid. We got Plebier in P1, Makov in P2, Abdus in P3, Kadeka in P4, Vijit in P5. We got Hoshid in P6, then we got Ench in P7, Flash in P8, we got Askas in P9, and we got Vishal in P10, who is interestingly coming under attack from Saurav in P11. So not something that Vishal would want to see, and unfortunately for NJK, who was having a really good race, has managed to pick up damage here. So what's happened? Things look good here for MJK, and it seems like he's probably the only one who's picked up damage. Let's just see. So you'll see on the bottom left, on the RH, you see the red bumper flickering in a moment's time. Now, has he gone wide, or I'm not so sure what's really happened out here. So we'll just stick around with MJK, but quite surprised that he's picked up front bumper damage there. Maybe a lapse of concentration, trying to push hard, and maybe so just like that, he's gone wide, and in that, unfortunately, he's picked up the damage. So quickly gaining, but with Kadeka, as we are on the final lap, and just like that, a sensational drive from the Ancient Pleb. From where he started, what a stellar drive for him, and showing why he is the fastest and the best. Taking that win, Makov in P2, Abdus taking a much deserved P3. Then we've got Kadeka, who's had a brilliant fight and a well-earned P4 for him. He should be proud of that. Vijit in P5. Oh, she's coming under attack from Ench. Has he run out of fuel? Just about holds it from Ench, and 6th and 7th between those guys. Flash in P8, Askas in P9. Now, what about Vishal and Saurav? Will Saurav be able to do a Gasly out here? Vishal doing everything he can. This could go down to a photo finish. This could, yes, and just like that. Whoa, Saurav finishes P10 and Vishal gets P11, and MJK will not be happy with the fact that the man who had moved up to P2 unfortunately finishes right at the end. So that's the race, guys, and simply amazing racing by all of them. This was simply epic, and yet another Ancient Pleb victory goes down in the history books. What a stellar drive. So you have Ancient Pleb in P1, Makov in P2, and Abdus in P3. Let's see, maybe we might see a complaint come in from Makov for that move for P1 by Ancient Pleb, but nevertheless a brilliant drive by these guys. Kadeka in P4, Vijit in P5, Hoshi's in P6, Ench in P7, Flash in P8, Askas in P9, Saurav in P10, SRC++, Vishal in P11, not really the weekend that he would have hoped for, and MJK with the fastest lap in P12. This was simply an epic race, and the top three doing a brilliant job. So I am the Wildest Monk, and I'm going to be signing off. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This was simply epic and an honor for me to host you all. See you guys soon. Stay tuned. Please do like, share, and subscribe our content. Any support, every support will really help this community grow. We want to do bigger things, so a humble request, any support would be helpful. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon. Enjoy your weekend.